Here we go again. Attorney General Keith Ellison charges 8 people in 2.6 million Medicaid fraud. That is 67 felonies, including racketeering, felony theft, and identity theft. Let's see what they did. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison announced that his office charged 8 people in Rice County District Court today as part of a scheme to defraud Minnesota Medical Assistance Program out of nearly 2.6 million. As part of the scheme, the 8 co-conspirators engaged in a broad scheme of identity theft whereby they used stolen identities of hundreds of separate individuals, largely from the Faribault area, to build Medicaid programs for services that the victim did not receive and that the co-conspirators did not provide collectively. The co-conspirators are charged with 67 felonies. That's a lot of fucking felonies, including racketeering, felony theft, and identity theft. That's 30 years right there. Okay? The conduct primarily involves fraudulently billing the Medicaid program for transportation, interpreter, and specialty clinic services, including acupuncture, physical therapy, chiropractor, mental health services that were not provided at all or were not eligible for reimbursement from Medicaid program. The identity theft victims are predominantly in the Faribault area. Identities were used to bill for Medicaid funded services throughout Twin Cities, often 50 to 60 miles away from Faribault-based victim homes, despite the fact that specialty clinics offer the same services at much closer distance to their homes. UCare, the primary insurance company payer for these services through Minnesota Managed Care Program, will permit members to travel to, but not more than 60 miles for medical services without prior authorizations. In this scheme, the co-conspirators often steered the victims towards the clinic that lay just under the 60-mile limit, for which prior authorization would not otherwise be required. This permitted the transportation drivers who were part of the scheme to maximize the reimbursement for driving residents. Pick someone up from Faribault, take them all the way to Minneapolis for the same shitty services that they can receive in Faribault or in Owatonna. So once they obtain the victim's identity, these individuals unlawfully used them to fraudulently bill Medicaid by billing for transportation or interpret services that were not provided at all, billing for transportation services that were provided as a group rides but were billed as an individual rides, thereby resulting in dramatically increased rate of reimbursement. Billing for services that were not eligible for reimbursement because the interpreters were banned by UCare from working as a provider. Billing for services ineligible for reimbursement because the co-conspirators engaged in prohibited solicitation or recruiting of victims to receive healthcare services at a particular clinic. Fraud. So who are these people? Who are these smart people? Nasra Aden Dachal, the principal actor, is charged with 1 count of racketeering, 6 counts of identity theft, and 10 counts of aiding and abetting a felony theft. Her co-conspirators Firdosa Ali Ibrahim, Bashir Adam Barre, and Warfa Usman Mahmoud are also charged with racketeering, identity theft, and aiding and abetting a felony theft. Other co-conspirators include Omar Abdi Ahmed, Amal Mohamed Budul, Khalif Abdi Mudowe, and Bishara Salat Ibrahim are all charged with identity theft in aiding and abetting a felony theft. This case is part of a multi-year, multi-agency Pit Stop 66 investigation. This case was a product of a joint investigation by Medicaid Fraud Unit in the Office of Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, and the Department of Health and Human Services, Office of the Inspector General, and the Minnesota Commerce Fraud Bureau. The agency received substantial assistance from the FBI. All right, that's what it is, guys. That is what it is. So, are you fucking around?